All right, welcome to day one of the 3 day. So here's the funny thing. We've called it a boot camp and we've called it a challenge. So it's the 3 day six-figure growth challenge boot camp. That's a mouthful, but welcome. We're
Mhm.
here to help you grow your business. We're here to help you get to that next level, no matter whether you're just out now starting, you're struggling, or, I see some people on here making over that I know that are personally making over 50K a month. And so we're going to help her get to the next level too.
When you're working with any leads, regardless whether it's a paid internet lead, whether it's a phone call, whether it's an inquiry, whether it's anything, you're not going to land every single person. One. Two, on average, you should be landing one in every six people. And that's why it seems like you have to have so many leads to hit your goal, right? For us, like when I show people me and my wife's business, in the past month and a half, we've had over 600 inquiries. And people are like, Tony, how are you booked out? Because I've had over 600 inquiries. So what I want everyone tonight to do as homework number one for tonight, or not, I wouldn't say for tonight, but this week, okay, is go on our calculator and figure out your number. How many leads do you need to get to your goal? Now, let's say you don't want to wait for the calculator, okay? Let's say you don't want to wait for that. Well, I'll be honest with you. It's very simple. You need six leads. You need, and follow me here, six leads for every one booking.
6 leads is the average we see with our clients who are being trained by us on how to sell, who have our sales scripts, who we do coaching calls on how to sell, how to follow up, how to convert. Some have our AI booking bot. And so when we say one in, or like for every 6 leads, you'll get a booking, realistically, if you're not being trained by us or you're not already good at sales, that's going to be closer to 10 to 12 leads. And I think that's why so many of you and like business owners in general get so stressed out and get so hard on yourselves because you're thinking like, oh my gosh, is my content not good? Am I not good at this? Do I not have good review? Like, why am I not getting bookings? Well, when you look at it, if you're only getting 10 inquiries a month, how can you possibly get bookings? You got to get hundreds of inquiries a month.
And for reference, I know a lot of you will say, "Oh, I'm in a small town. I'm in this, I'm in that." I'm in a small town myself. Like literally our average client age is 65-ish, 65 to 70. Okay? I'm up against a lot. But I know that I just need to get in front of more people every single day.
And we had a great
Um,
question. What if you're just starting out? Then perfect. I'm so glad you're here because everybody needs to hear this boot camp before they even start their business. This
yep.
is this is the stuff we all wish we had known when we started.
Yep. This is exactly what, Jake broke down for me when I first signed up with him in 2017.
It's funny that I always hear the small town objection, but like honestly, it's sometimes it's easier to, or a lot of times it's easier to market in a small town because in cities, people are competing with all types of companies like, Nike, Lowe's, Home Depot, all these companies are running ads to the same people you're trying to run ads to. And so, but they target these big cities plus all these other local businesses you have in that city. And so usually ad costs are a little bit more in a city. So like if you're running ads in the middle of Houston, it's going to cost you more to reach a person versus running ads in um, whatever small town USA. And here's something I heard from one of my mentors a week ago that and I was like, oh, that's a good point. He said running ads isn't necessarily about getting a direct booking. Running ads is about becoming the person like known for whatever service you do. So becoming the brow lady or the PJ lady or the facial lady or the waxing lady, like or guy, whatever. But like it's becoming known as that person. That way when people hear about you again or they want that service, you're the first person that pops in their mind. That's really what branding is. Branding is not about colors and stuff like that. It's about being the person when I think of microblading or if I think of facials, I'm like, oh yeah, Susie does that because I've seen her ads everywhere. She's the brow lady in my town. And so that's what you want to get that famous in your town.
So pretty much for me, and I hope you all feel this way right now, if you are an individual that wants to make six figures this year, okay, you want to make $100,000 and your average service price right now, and I want everybody, if $100,000 is your goal, I want you to write this down. If you want to make $100,000 and your average, actually, let me ask everybody, what is everybody's like average? If I go to your studio, on average, how much am I spending at your studio? Can you type that in the chat for me? 150, 214, 150, 100, 150, 80, 80, 80, 100, 100, 500, 100, 150, 80, 80, 180. Okay, so for easy math, I'm gonna say 150. Okay, so if you want to make $100,000, you need to have 667 clients that year, 100K. That's the number you need in clients at $150 per service. All I did was 100 divided by that 150, or if you want to do your own math, divided by $300 or $400. Now, how many leads do I need? I need 6,668 leads. Sounds like a lot, right?
That comes out to be about 550 per month.
I got actually,
Really? I did
yeah.
6,668 divided by 12.
Yep, you're right. So you need 555 leads a month to make six figures at a $150 price point. Now divide that by 30, you need 18 inquiries a day.
Now, I will say the reason we are able to get our clients at a successful rate with less inquiries sometimes is because, that was a very simple equation. Once you start getting in clients, then what do you get? You start getting word of mouth. You start getting Google reviews, which helps you get ranked higher and found more. So that way you get, organically get leads versus having to pay for every single lead. Then you start getting, repeat customers. You start like people start bringing in friends. And so it does have a snowball effect. And that's why we find that if, when we charge for an advertising package, we start with 90 days because if we found that if our clients can build up 90 days of momentum, 90 days of leads and start getting bookings in those 90 days, then they'll start to see that snowball effect more and get referrals and reviews and all this stuff. That's how you really start to build a business. So don't get intimidated to be like, oh my gosh, I have to have, 6,000 leads this year. Like, no, it really comes down to about half that, depending how it really comes down to how much you hustle on the back end. Are you like building great relationships with your clients? Were they giving you shout outs? Are you getting referrals? Are you doing a referral program? And we're going to talk about all that stuff this week. So
Yep. And
we're going to say like, this is how many leads you had. Like if you were lazy and you just sat in a chair and watched Netflix all day, you would need 6,600 and whatever leads. But we're going to show you how you can get that number down throughout this training.
one thing I want to caveat to that is leads or inquiries or conversations.
Same thing. Yeah.
It's all the same
It's all
thing.
think of leads as a connection to someone. A lead can be somebody you meet on the street. It can be someone who comments and you reach out to them. Like once you have a two-way connection, that is a lead.
So for those of you who are like, Tony, can you just write out this formula for me? What I wanted to do really quick is I created a Word document just so you have the formula right this second. So your financial goal is $100,000. Your average cost per service is 150. Your close rate is 1 in every 10 leads. So you take $100,000. So $100,000 is your goal. Then divide that by your average service cost. That's going to equal, you need 667 services per year to hit that goal. Now, in order to get 667 services, I need to times that number by 10 because my close rate is 1 in every 10, right? So now that your close rate's 1 in every 10, that tells me you need 6,667 leads per year or 556 leads per month to get your financial goal of $100,000.
Yeah, and so what I'm saying is that's if you only close 1 in every 10 leads. If you get really good at selling, then let's say that you cut that in half and close 1 in every 5. Now you only need
Half the amount of
3,000.
leads.
Yeah, you only need 3,300 leads for the year or 277. And so that's why it's a huge difference we see in results on the clients who are good at selling versus not.
Going back into Jake, what's your thought? Facebook, Google, going into 2025, what are your thoughts?
So I'm going to throw a curveball because this is something I learned on I love both of those, by the way, but I'm going to throw a curveball. And something I learned on the mastermind is that SEO is really coming back. And so I think SEO was a little bit tough for a while, but now I'm actually going to be having access to a special tool that will get any website ranked very, very quickly. And so I'm excited that's coming out pretty soon. I'll make more announcements on that. But what is SEO? That's basically ranking high on Google. And so I think that's very important because what age are we in right now? We're in the AI age. And so soon people aren't just going to be Googling something like the past 10 years, everybody just Googles when they search. Pretty soon they're just going to either be asking ChatGPT. Like a lot of times, instead of going to Google, I will now ask ChatGPT stuff because I can have a conversation with it. And so pretty soon we're going to have little robots following us around or our phones or whatever. And you're going to be able to have a conversation like, hey, I'm looking for this. Okay, who has the best reviews? Maybe I'm looking for somewhere in this area. And it's going to tell you who to pick. And so if you're not being found, when I say SEO, I'm not just talking about Google. If you're not being found on search engines, you stand no chance as AI starts to, because what does AI do? It skims through all the search engines, it looks at all the data, and it provides the best recommendations. And so if you're anonymous and you're relying on, radio ads and crap like that that's old school, then AI is not going to know you exist and you're no longer going to be found by people. And so mark my words, like whoever starts to have better SEO next year is the ones that are going to get the most bookings. Now, going back to Google Ads, I think a strategy of having even if you have a very small budget, which I know a lot of you do, no offense, that's just the truth. If you have a small budget, do $5 a day in Google Ads. That way you're catching the very high intent people who are searching for make them very targeted. Don't just make them like, beauty business. Like if you do waxing, make sure it's like, exact waxing terms. That way you're not getting any bad leads. $5 a day on Google Ads, and then I would say $10 a day on Facebook now and Instagram combined. And so that's a minimum to me, but you can do less, but that's just what I would recommend if you're going for these six-figure numbers. So with Facebook and Instagram, I recommend having one campaign that's reaching new people in your local area, showing them, something you offer, doing like a really great offer or something like that, to get new attention and, get connection and get leads. And then the third campaign which is the second one on Facebook and Meta, that's going to be a retargeting ad. So that retargeting ad, you got people coming from Google that are going to your website or going to your Google business profile and finding you. You also got people you're connecting with on Facebook and Instagram through that second campaign. Now with the third campaign, you're retargeting anyone who engages with your social media, anyone who goes to your website with a different ad. And so that way, once people see you, they don't just see you once, they see you everywhere.
If you had to pick one platform, you're on a budget, you want to pick one platform to advertise on, what would it be and why?
So I would pick Facebook. When I say Facebook/Instagram, I'm just going to start saying Meta because that's what it's called now. So Meta encompasses Facebook and Instagram. It's both platforms. So I would focus on Meta ads with a limited budget. Why? Because anytime someone comments, anytime someone likes the ad, anytime someone messages from the ad, now I have a connection where I can pursue that. With Google, unless they book with you or you're retargeting them, there's not really that much connection you can pursue. So it's more passive, which as a business owner needing clients is frustrating because you don't have that instant gratification. And so you want to have that instant gratification of Facebook and Instagram interaction so that you can go pursue those clients and book them.
Next up, Groupon. And I put them on here because I'm tired of, and I want to kind of have this conversation really quick, especially going into 2025 when you're analyzing. You can stop sharing your screen really quick, Jake. I want to put Groupon on here because a lot of people, they will utilize Groupon, think it's amazing. However, Groupon costs you more money than it will ever cost you to hire a marketer. Hell, it will cost you more money than you hiring Elon Musk to run your business.
My criteria for like when we say Groupon, we're talking about any low ticket offer thing. So my criteria for that would be one, very high profit margins, like he was said, a high spread. And so you don't want to do something that's going to cost you a lot of money because Groupon's taking a large chunk of it. Two, something that creates repeat customers. And so, like Tony was saying, maybe get somebody in for one waxing, but then create a repeat customer and upsell them a package. It's the same thing chiropractors do. Like they get people in, they give them like a little X-ray and a little exam, and they basically sell you a package, like a $1,000 package or something. And so, if you use it as a lead magnet, we call it in marketing, we call it a tripwire funnel because in battle, you have a tripwire where if somebody trips over the wire, it sets off an explosion. And so we call that a tripwire where you get it, it's a low ticket offer. It doesn't cost you much time, it doesn't cost you much money, but it gets more attention and more people in the door. So that's the only time I would recommend doing something like that.
So with collabs, I like to be very specific of who I collaborate with. The reason why is because I don't want to collaborate with somebody that has 100,000 followers. That's not my person. Why? Because they have so many followers, I guarantee their content is diluted and they don't have good engagement on their account. Okay. I want to collaborate with people that have they're micro influencers between 15 and 20,000 followers. That's my sweet spot. Okay. Another thing I want to do is I want to collaborate. My first tier of collaborators are foodies. Those food collaborators, gold mine. Why? They have the biggest, most loyal audiences because everybody's looking, where do I go for a new restaurant? Where do I go for this? Where do I go for that? That's the person you need to collaborate. This is a foodie, not somebody who's, oh, she's a supermodel. Okay. That's who you don't want to collaborate with. The reason why you don't want to collaborate with some supermodel or beauty influencer is because they're not relatable. How you get to 90 clients is by only focusing on the next 30. How you monetize those next 30. So first thing we did was thank you cards. So at the end of every service, my wife takes 10 minutes and hand writes a thank you card. And on her way out the door of her studio, she drops it in the mailbox. She thanks them for supporting a small business, gives them on the back of her business card $25 off their next service, and asks them for help. So the way she does that is, thank you so much, Robin. I truly appreciate you coming into my studio and supporting my small business. I could really use your help. I'm wondering if you could refer me to maybe one or two of your friends. It would really mean the world to me, and I look forward to seeing you at your next appointment on XYZ date. Affiliate programs. Number 2 is affiliate programs. I would love, so the way we do this is once I get a repeat client in, I will then offer them to be a part of my affiliate program. So what that affiliate program means is I will send them an email, just letting them know, hey, you're part of my affiliate program. And then I'll say, please let me know 2 or 3 people that you would like for me to reach out to on your behalf. Or if anybody, refers you, I just tell them I was referred by you and I'll give you a free set of brows. I'll give you a free touch up. I love giving free stuff away. You help me, I help you. I will give you a free set of brows. I'll give you a free pro sale package if you're referring 9 clients to me. I don't care. But affiliate programs, the way they work is once they've repeat customered you, don't start off just because you had a great first conversation with them, a great first meeting with them. Don't offer them the affiliate program out of the gate. Once they return, you turn around and say, hey, I would love for you to be an affiliate of mine. You've been an amazing client. Would that be something you're interested in? Great. Yes, I am. Okay, great. Well, actually, what I do is for every client you refer to me, I give you $25. Would that be okay? Absolutely. Now, guess what? You could also send them another thank you card for joining the affiliate program, right? And then you could just send them business cards with their name on it. That way they could pass those people. That way you could track it. So again, don't make it overcomplicated. There's a million ways to do affiliate programs. Just don't make it overcomplicated. Third is asking for their video testimonials. Now, I'm not saying to ask or for a video testimonial to run an ad with. The reason why I want to do a video testimonial is so I could tag them on Facebook That way it gets posted onto their account. Not only that, how do I ask for a video testimonial? The way you do that is immediately after you finish the service. Hey, would you really mind helping me really quick? Sure. Do you mind if we shoot a quick video testimonial? You always want to ask them, hey, do you mind helping me really quick? That's how you ask them. Help me. Can you help me?
Just
Who's
tell them to
going to
hold the
say,
camera and then have it in selfie mode.
and then literally I would have the camera in my pocket in selfie mode, be like, okay, great. Can we shoot a video testimonial real quick? What are they going to say? No. Like, no. And then I would post it on your social media and then tag them on it. And they may say to you, because we've had this happen before, oh, I don't have Facebook. Well, didn't you come in through a Facebook ad? Yes. Okay, you have Facebook. So, and it gets awkward, but we'll leave them up for a few days and then take them down. But video testimonials, super huge because you can collaborate with them on their social media account. So that's very important. And then
Yeah.
number four,
And then at a minimum, do a Google review. Always ask for Google reviews because especially your first 20 or 30 Google reviews are really going to help you get ranked higher.
And number four, ask for their three. This is the most overlooked way to monetize your first 30 clients, period. On every one of your client intake forms, every one of them, you need to ask, do you know of 3 people that are looking for this service? If so, would you mind if I gave them a call? Question mark. Then when you're going through and checking their intake form and they didn't fill it out, you're going to say, so you don't have any friends that are looking for this service? The reason why I ask is because I love to work with people just like you. Let's get into the 5 ways to identify your real client, the 5 steps to identifying your real client, your ideal client. So step number 1, what services do you offer? Okay. And what problem does your services solve? For a lot of people, they say, oh, I do waxing and I do facials and I do microneedling and microchanneling and all this stuff. And I just want to find those customers, but they don't peel the layer back on how they do it. A great example, and I'm going to pick on Elda on this one, but Elda Waxing Queen, she crushes it with HS clients, HS waxing clients. I'm not even I don't even know how to say what HS stands for. I just know it's a really horrible condition in the armpits and areas like that. But if you go on her TikTok, she has really cool content around it. But that is a specific client where you can charge, in my opinion, you could charge a little more if you are really good at what you do. Okay. And for me, I would rather pay as a consumer, I would rather pay a little more for somebody who specializes in my skin issues. Okay. So when you're talking about your ideal client, my first question to you is, what's your specialty? What are you good at?
And what do you help people with? What
Exactly.
outcome do you help people get? So what services do you offer? Step 2, what services do you enjoy the most? Step 3, let's talk client's age. And step 4, are your current clients going to want or need your services?
Yep. Yep. So step number 5, and this is probably one of my favorite steps, is look up census data in your area. And this is probably the most, and like for those of you who live in areas that have like a European wax studio, hand and stone massage, things like that, those companies, the way they come into your area and they're booked out right away is two reasons. One, they pre-market before they even sign a lease. Okay. They will pre-market and run ads to build a list of people who are potentially interested in their services before they sign a lease. 1. 2, they look up the local census data. They look up the financial and demographics. Yes, the demographics of the area to see, okay, in this area, there's people on average income of $60,000 or $100,000. So a lot of times when I talk with people, they're like, yeah, I'm in a really good area. I just can't get booked out. Great example, Los Angeles. Los Angeles, California is a great example. We get a lot of people from there wanting our services the first thing I always try to tell them is, hey, listen, before you get started, we need to know who your ideal client is within a 10-mile radius. So I'll oftentimes, if they don't know who their ideal client is, I'll ask them to look for their census data, because they may want to try to look at doing individuals that are super young when the census data says 90% of the audience in their 5-mile radius is over 80 years old. You're fighting up against stream. So if you feel like you're struggling right now and you're like, I don't know why I feel like there's rich people in my area, but they're not biting, guess what? You're probably targeting the wrong people.